there are about 3 to 4 formations here in the cluster of candles that are forming within XRP. And I got to say, 2 of those, the primary formations with a high batting average, are actually opposing each other. One upside and one downside. But of course, you already know that we're going to go and figure out which one has the higher probability for upside or downside. And we're going to also favor the side that has the higher probability outcome. Okay, guys. So before we get started, guys, I am actually introducing you here for the first time ever. For the first time, I am actually introducing to you this, okay? This is now something that you've requested for, and I am actually accepting the buy now, pay later options on every single item ever made from the Arca Bulls trading team and Arca Bulls systems. Okay, guys. So, for example, you can get your Lifeline trading team here, guys, which is this comes to you with free algorithms too. Some of those algorithms, of course, are the ones that we use to determine our price action, right? So, for example, this, right, we get the linear volatility, and also data cells comes with that purchase. Now, also, guys, what comes with this is guys, what I was going to tell you is that also every other algorithm they ever thought of, not only are they discounted here for the next 24 hours only, but also I'm accepting the buy now, pay later options. Okay, guys. So everything, and even bundled items, are in there for you to choose. Know that for the next 24 hours, I will be accepting, with the discounted fee, the buy now, pay later. But after 24 hours, we're going to do about 2 more days without the discounted fee, but still buy now, pay later. Okay, guys, so make sure to take advantage of that, and make sure especially to take advantage of this Master's Course deal for $100 that you can also buy now, pay later, right? As it is going to be starting, right? This is for beginners, charting and trading. A private it is a private mentorship live with me for about 8 to 9 weeks starting in July 26th. So make sure to take advantage of that as well, guys. But every single other item in here is absolutely on sale. For example, like this Omega Advanced here, giving you February 9th to July 4th, 2025, a 610% gainer, guys, in literally just a couple months here. And also introducing the very pretty, the very beautiful hybrid elites, right, guys? This is this one right over here, and that is absolutely returning here just under a year, 1,289%. So, guys, please make sure to get in line to get these items here. This is why I was saying don't buy anything just yet. Wait for the July 4th sale, as it's going to be a mega blowout, and that is it for the shilling here. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at the probabilities here for price action on ticker symbol XRP. Okay, guys, some very tough times are happening here, and it seems as though we are going to pop off on a crazy bull run here pretty soon. It almost feels like it, though. But judging by yesterday's price action, we actually were able to nail. Exactly, well, I guess it's not exactly right. We got the bottom side that we were looking for, opposing the continuation to the downside that we talked about. So we said we have 2 probabilities here, right? The dead cat bounce, which would lead towards a target of this here, $2.1987, right? So the target came down here. This is the candle that reached the low, and it reached, let's see, $2. Where's the L? There we go. $2.1976 of the 1987. So very good times. We were able to nail that price target pretty nicely here, and it did serve for a nice bounce to the upside, of which we've reached a high of just about 222.94 from that 219.76. Nice. Okay, so the formations that are starting to kind of form here, right, guys? What we're looking at is there are a couple potentials here, guys. Okay, let me go ahead and start putting them together here for you. This is number 1. This is your inverse head and shoulders formation. Many of you know this to be a very bullish formation. All good, right? I'm gonna get rid of these regression lines here, right? And it has a good hit rate, a very good hit rate, and it tends to lead price action towards the upside. So let's go ahead and figure out our regression, which is, connecting here pretty nicely to the connector dots there. All right, so this is called your neckline. This would be your left-hand shoulder, this would be your head, and your inverted right-hand shoulder, right? So it's upside down. Okay, so let's go ahead and now apply or gather ourselves the price objective for this via this trend line here. This is a very basic way of observing price action, right? And giving you a total output price, right? We're going to use statistics after this, and we're going to be able to validate this even further. Okay, so this is giving you a target of around $2.27 should this formation play out, and it's just about ready. Okay, so let's go ahead and just mark off these receipts as we go. Okay, perfect. That's one right there. Now, you know what? We can actually just do this too, right? We'll go ahead and add here inverse H and H. So that's going to be our inverse head and shoulder targets. So now we can get rid of the regression to keep things here a little more organized, right? So this is our price objective for the inverse head and shoulders. Now this. Okay, so if we, I guess we can even go down a time frame here, going down to the 30-minute time frame, we can actually see that there's an existing, you know, very, very horizontal top here, like equal tops, equal targets everywhere. And that's something that we could also use to our advantage using this top wick here. Okay, so how do we do that though? Let me go ahead and show you this. Now this, just to kind of, you know, spoiler alert, this is also a bullish formation, just like the inverse head and shoulders is. Okay, so this would be giving you this kind of read, right? So it would be something like, yeah, there we go. So something like this here. In fact, I think we may be able to use the 15-minute time frame on this and determine some type of other. I want to see if we can meet more along the lines of the 65 to 75% to the apex at the present price, right? That usually leads towards better outcome. There you go. And actually we are, right? Just about the 60% on this ascending triangle. Now it's particular here because the ascending triangle is built best for the upside when actually presented at the bottom side of trend. So this is the bottom side of trend here. Now we're converging price, and it's completely starting to kind of show the implications of a breakout. 65 to 75% to the apex of the triangle is typically when this breaks out, so it would be usually around here. Remember that we are on a 15-minute time frame, right? So we're talking about what, 45 minutes? Something. So if it is this formation, right, you got 3 targets to look at. I'm gonna speed this up here so that we can go ahead and you know, get to our dinners, get to our celebrations. Happy 4th, by the way, everybody, and I love you all. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this as fast as humanly possible. Maybe not to explain it as much as we usually do, but everything good, right? This would be your first target to the upside. Your second target to the upside would be right about here, and your last target to the upside would be right about here. Okay, so let's mark them off. Let's get the receipts kind of put on there, right? So that's your 223.43. This would be 223.81, and this would be just about 240. Let me go ahead and adjust that one more time. 224.72. My goodness. Okay, so now we know that we have the inverse head and shoulders. We'll get rid of this, right? We also have the triangle, right? The ascending triangle, which is pretty much a V-shaped recovery, a reversal of sorts. And now, well, yeah, you know what? To keep things organized again, right? We'll just do try. We'll also do on this, right? We'll also do try 2, and we'll do try 1, so that we can get rid of all of these lines here, right, guys? We want to just make sure to have the targets everywhere else. We'll color the inverse head and shoulders slightly differently so that we can identify the different targets too. Okay, now next formation that we have here is just so happens to be a very, very powerful formation that has, I guess it does have a high hit rate, and you already know of it. Okay, so it would be this, let's go ahead and put this up on the maybe a 2-hour time frame, as it is still relevant, or even a 1 hour, right? Okay, all right, so this would be your head and shoulders formation, right? So it would be slightly different than your inverted head and shoulders. So that would be this one, and this one here as the shoulder, your head, and your right hand shoulder. A bearish formation that tends to lead price action to the downside. It favors the downside, that is. Okay, so no problem at all. So now just to kind of keep the story short here, using this type of formation here, this would be the trend line to respect that downside. That would be around $2 and about $16.99. So we're going to go ahead and leave that right there as well, right? $16.99 would be right about here. There we go. And this would be your bottom inverse head and shoulders. I just need to show you all this, right? Let's do inverse H and H bear, right? Okay, so I just need to show you this because we need to understand the price action happening right now. There is a lot happening right now, and we have to be completely aware of this. So the inverse head and shoulder bear, let's just go ahead and just color this a red color, as that is leading towards the downside. We already fulfilled the downside of the dead cat bounce, so all good. Okay, now, how do we know which one of these formations would be giving us the downside or the upside? Which one is it that gives us the biggest probability? Well, the bigger probability would honestly be your head and shoulders. You know, the bearish formation here it's showing precedence, right? It has a huge amount of validity here. So that is still a possibility for us to dive down to the areas of around 216.99. To oppose that, though, there's still the bottom side that we faced where we rejected, where we talked about just yesterday at 219.87. That was pretty damn good. Now, let me just go ahead and see if there's any room for us to find some type of continuation here. Okay, well, I mean, to be honest with you, if there is one more bearish formation, I guess it would be in the eyes of a rising wedge, it would be a rising wedge. Now, that would be in the eyes of this type of formation here, right? So we'll get this upside type of price action where we can have one more push to the upside and resist around here. This would be kind of like a triangle formation, right? Like this. Let me see if we can get ourselves the support somewhere. Yeah, like this. Which means that it's gonna last a little bit longer than what we think, but it's all good, right? No problem at all. So yeah, this would be your rising wedge. Rising wedge is usually a bearish formation, okay? Now, it also does have 3 targets to the downside. This one, just like the other triangle, right? You would have the center of the triangle being one other target, and the wherever it breaks down from type of target as well. Now, it doesn't have to realize all the way to the 65 to 75% to the apex. That's all good. It doesn't have to. Make sure to hit those ATWs in the chat right now, guys. I know that we're kind of blowing some time here, but all good. I'm going to try to actually do some other videos like on Excel and then other stuff too, guys. Okay, so yeah, not sure where we're going to break down from, but we're just going to have to assume that we would break down, let's just say somewhere here around 7:40 a.m. This would be my next day, so the 5th of July, PST, Pacific time. So that's one target there. This would be your next target here. And then let's just say that we did break down from there, right? This would be your first target to the downside. So should that be the case, well, let's just go ahead and kind of apply it there and just slightly move our target to the right as such. Okay, so very good. So this would mean that we have the 3 potential targets to lead the way. One of them is already very confluent to the shortened side of price action that we reached a little bit earlier. So that's that's good, right? I guess really close to the 219.87. So this would be one area to experience a gap. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a zone like this, okay? Just like this. There we go. So this would be the probable place to experience a bounce from using this formation here, okay? Because it does have a little bit of bearish in it, and it is a triangle family, which makes it valid, okay, guys? So let's go ahead. I know. We're going to catch up. There's a reason for all this, okay? Let's put our receipts down on this just to know that we are completely in line with what's going on, right? So there we go. We're going to use the actual yellow line because that's the one we measured. So I highlighted that area yellow because I believe that this could be a very concentrated zone to where we can oppose continuation to the downside should we need to. So a liquidity pool. If we need to dive down to 219.87, well, we have some supports already there. Good stuff. Okay, so this now opposes the continuation of this formation too. So that means that we could potentially be seeing just something as simple as a double bottom on this. So if that really is the case, then our formation, which one is it? The inverse head and shoulders. This one here would completely invalidate. But then hold on. If we continue to the downside, that starts to kind of make downside momentum a little harder, which then I apply the last formation. Okay, so let's get rid of these and this and say this is the falling wedge. Falling wedge 3, right? We're going to do falling wedge, my goodness. Let's go ahead and do the falling wedge 2, and this will be the falling wedge first target, right? Falling wedge 1. Okay, just to keep things in line, that is. And just for now, I guess we'll go ahead and just leave one of these targets here, right? And the other one you could kind of already see that's around the 220.46. All good. Okay, so now the next formation is what I'm about to show you, okay? So let's go ahead and just kind of get all of these here and highlight them all. Let's group them together and say thesis 1, right? Let's just go ahead and now remove all of them for now temporarily, right? We can actually just add them later. And now I'm going to introduce to you something else. So this would be, and I think I could maybe use this here. Maybe not. I think I'm going to use the more right. It could actually be, yes, damn. Okay, so this is now what could also be happening. Okay. This, what you're observing now, is the working of a falling wedge. These are the workings of a falling wedge, meaning that this would technically have some continuation to the downside here. So what could be happening is that, yes, we do have a rising wedge here suggesting a bottom side of, somewhere around here. So by the time price action reaches it, we would be reaching somewhere down here. So now, does that show any confluence with our price action from the analysis before that? We're saying that price action could actually, what is this, the hourly time frame? Yeah, so let's just say that we came down here. We're 44 minutes, by the way, guys. This is 44 minutes right now to close this bar. It's already kind of coming down to this area here. So I'm thinking that if we meet the regression, it would be somewhere between this area here and the next bar low would actually tell you, in the next hourly around this area. So let's take a look at our thesis and see if we have something further to the downside into there. Well, okay, so there is very close proximity within these targets to the low of the 219.87 that we talked about. Well, that's already curious. So that makes me entirely curious right away. We have to break down this thing like this, guys, because if we don't, then we could just be completely trapped and not know what the heck is going on. And also remember that it's not about the actual regression line. It's more about the historical price where things have been before. So there's absolutely a way that we can reject here and still continue. And that would be interesting because if we even fell down here on another candle, that would still be an inverse head and shoulders and we could still kind of launch. We already have 1 and 2 tests to validate the formation of the bottom side. Curious. Okay, so if this is the case, let's just go ahead and figure out our last targets on this, right? So the back end of the triangle would be your largest take profit and wherever we break out from. So let's just say that we break out, tonight in like 2 hours, literally from now. And this would be your target 1, because we don't know if we're going to reach any lower valuations down there. And this would be your target number 2. So let's go ahead and now mark these off with some receipts, right? So 225.63 and 226.77. Okay, now do we have anything rhyming there? Well, we certainly do. We were observing the top side of price action yesterday of around 225.63 already, so that's pretty damn good. 224.72 is your triangle top formation. And see, this 226 and 227 based on the inverse head and shoulders and your triangle second take profit target are very much in line with this pivot right down here. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are any others that are around there, like this one here, right? So all good. And now what about this one here, this green one? Do we have anything there? Well, I think that would be the 50% range. I think, honestly, I do think that that would be the 50% range. So let's just go ahead and mark it off like this. And the top end, we would say to be this resistance right up here. Okay, very cool. Now, what that does is give you a zone here that's perfectly distributed for a 50% distribution. Look at that. This is your center of the rectangle here. That's super curious. Very, very curious. So let me just go ahead and put that as green, right? Now kind of diminish that visibility here just a little bit. And I will say that the bigger probability here, guys, would be to kind of reach this target kind of again, right? 225.45, 226.28. It feels like it would be right around there. So I'm just going to go ahead and color that yellow now so that you know what the focus zone is. And so far, I am kind of seeing the upside, but first a little bit bearish, right? Let's, we're going to validate this now because I need to know. 225.48, the concentrated zone, the focus area would be 226.26 on there. And then we have this topside target should we move further ahead. Now, another reason that it could be bullish is because of, well, BTC is currently experiencing some resistances here. And just about an hour ago or 24 minutes ago, maybe, I was reading on the Z squeeze that there was a moderate read for upside continuation to about 109 to 110,000. So that is telling me that if that isn't the case anymore, well, then we're getting a weak read for potential continuation to the upside. Now, this Z squeeze, of course, is available for you as well inside of the Arca Bulls trading team Discord. So I'm going to go ahead and include all of these links in the description below. Okay, guys. So now let's go ahead and continue here and see if this thing actually does fall to the downside, which we're getting decreasing volume here, guys. So if we start increasing volume towards that downside, well, that would very well be a telling sign of continuation downward. Okay, but so far it's still kind of neutral. Now remember, I'm looking at just with discretion, no systems or nothing involved here. I'm looking for a bounce from this area here, 220.95 to 219.87, roughly within the 1 penny in here, right? Yes, of course, I got these targets to 1961. They're still in the 219s though, right? So yeah, it would be in this focus zone here before an upside continuation starts. So then the upside targets that I'm looking for now would actually be towards this group of targets. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at volatility and momentum to validate this. So now what I'm going to do is actually just get rid of some of these like extra little targets around, but we're going to keep them titled. We're going to know what they are. I'm going to try to keep this thing as a, I'm going to just try to keep it here as controlled as possible. So even this here, right, that would be our bottom range that we're looking for. And I'm just going to get rid of these lines right here. But we still have the range kind of jotted down there. This out, these, and these, right? All good. Even on this one here, I'll go ahead and remove that as well. Very good. So now we're looking at a little more controlled. Let's go ahead and pop up volatility versus momentum here, right? So this is your linear volatility, which we're going to use as the acceleration or deceleration of your current participation. Here comes the swoosh sound, guys. Heads up for the sound. This is for my camera. Here we go. And hello again. Okay, so let's continue it, right, man? Freaking 24-minute video already. Sorry about that, guys. Some of you asked me to do this, by the way, to just go at it. So I'm going at it, a special. Anyway, hit those ATWs now and hit 24 next to it, man. Put ATW 24 if you heard it all the way here. I love you guys so much, man. I see you all the time. Thank you, team. All right, so the final step to this, right? Let's go ahead and just block the visibility here, see what's going on from the immediate short term, and determine the continuation of our favorite asset here. Okay, guys. All right, nice upside here on the 5-minute time frame. Very likely for this to actually turn into a bullish momentum. Know for a fact that this is still just about 2 minutes away and expanding nicely. So we're accelerating towards a potential upside. Know that anything can happen though, right? It's an eternity away from closing. So let's go to the 10-minute time frame and observe. So your 10-minute time frame is also getting a nice little push to the upside here. However, again, an eternity to close, a real eternity to close this bar. Man, okay, but so far so good. This is only telling me that we would have reached, let's see, from a 4-minute time. Oh yeah, 4-minute time frame is already leading towards the upside, closing with an upside continuation. This is, guys, is feeling like it's pretty damn good already. 3-minute time frame, a little tiny bit of a shooting star, but that's why we get those little tiny pullbacks from the more immediate time, right? For example, this is your pullback on a 2-minute time frame. Going to give it a little bit of a bearish look here, right? The little tiny turn. There we go. There's the kink and a shooting star on top, which means that the 4-minute time frame finishes and starts, which means that this now, because of the 2-minute and 3-minute, they would retrace on their bearish little antics here, right? And experience a 50% prior bar pullback of your 4-minute time frame. Good. What about the 5-minute? All right, so the 5-minute time frame would actually then resolve all that little stuff and just continue, or wait for this thing to close and then assist the 2 and 3 minute for that retrace to come back down and validate some supports, of which I believe to be right down here at 222. Very strong upside here. 21 seconds to go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just determine that as an upside. 10-minute time frame also would be upside continuation. I'm going to say that in 5 minutes, your 15-minute time frame would also close green, and that would be part of your 50% prior bar retrace on the 15, and then this would face some downside, but that downside is only for the 10-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame to retrace. Here's the new 5-minute close, very well resisting from this top side, right around there, right around here, right? This top side here. I'm looking for rejection somewhere in there, even if it was the wick of around 222.28 to maybe around 222.30. This rejection would likely bring price action to the downside, since it is an inflection point. Watch that price reject right at that point, guys. So right around in here, right? So if we can get that retracement, then your 10-minute time frame, should it have enough? It still has 4 minutes. It may actually push a little bit harder here, but it's looking good. Okay, guys, so yeah, the 5-minute time frame would technically reject at these points. Since we have 4 minutes left, there's now one more probability for upside, and that would be to the 222.40 should we have further upside. I'm going to go ahead and just correct that target just a little bit more here, right? So yeah, if the 5-minute time frame fails to kind of hold price back, then this would just maybe one more upside on that, right? But this would technically be a stop loss range. So if it does continue the downside here, guys, that would be likely to your 10-minute time frame decompression level, where we would drop into the targets of, I will give you a range here. So that would be roughly around this area. Yeah, right about here. This would be the area to bounce and continue to the upside. I have a feeling that there's going to be a little bit of contraction here, kind of hold price here, because it is a momentum bar. It feels like the bulls want to take complete control here and take this thing to the upside. So let's validate this, right? 3 minutes to close the 15 and the 10-minute time frame. Very impressive. We also have the 20-minute time frame. This was potentially shifting towards the downside, but this, I think this was all part of a retrace on a larger time frame. I'm going to be honest here. So I'm just going to go ahead and find out which one that was and try to get this thing. There it is. It was a 3-minute time frame. Very long wicks to the bottom side here, likely for upside to happen, right? So yeah, I think we're looking pretty okay. We got that 3-hour retrace. Immediate short-term time frames are just going to kind of wiggle around here to give you some opportunities to enter, remind you to enter, and all that good stuff, right? But yeah, the 4-hour time frame here just started, guys. This has a corrective pivot. We have 2 momentum bars towards the upside. This was an 8-hour retrace, and there you go. There it is. There's your hammer candle, right? And here is your 50% prior bar retrace of the 8-hour. Continuation to the upside now is starting to look very likely. So how high? 12-hour time frame. Let's see. Well, so far it would be about 12 hours of upside. So that gives you around 6 cents. And that would put you at an ATR top of around 228, 229. And I think we already kind of met that 228 or 229 as well, right? So in fact, we're suggesting a target of around 227.07. So magically speaking, there we are. Okay. And your 8-hour time frame, should that be the one to actually focus on? Well, that was giving you an ATR top of 227, guys. 227. Man. All right. Yeah. I think we're getting ready for a pop. Let price come down to you first, right? And then experience a continuation towards that very, very healthy looking upside. So we're going to go ahead and find out what that 227 looks like here, maybe the next few hours. It could take a little bit of time for it to fulfill. Okay, guys, we still have just that 1 minute to close on that 10-minute and also the 15-minute, right, guys? It's just very likely for us to come down for a little bit here and then experience a continuation to the upside. But this is cascading towards a nice upside, and judging by the targets of your of this top side where statistics are leading, it is your inverse head and shoulders that would be responsible for that top side. Good job. We finally finished it. This is actually a 30-minute special here to lead you into that target there. Should we have further upside, guys? What about the further upside, Arca? You already dragged us all the way here. Okay, I am not going to lie. I see it. Okay, I do see it. We have a gigantic 50% retrace and leading towards 228 or 227 here, which means that we are retracing just to finish your 50% prior bar pullback on a 3-day. Your 4-day time frame also performing that, which, by the way, they have upside pivots. Your 5-day time frame just finished its 50% pullback, and now it's likely continuing towards that 226 or 227 upside bias. Critical contraction. There's something about to happen here, guys. Something is about to happen. Weekly time frame already pivoted towards the upside. 30% prior bar retrace. Very, very strong green bar, momentum bar, and suggesting a continuation on this. Holy shit. Okay. And that would be just about 2 weeks of upside. But I will say we're closing this in about 2 days total. So 2 weeks of upside for now is leading to just around 49 cents from the, well, unfortunately from the opening of this bar, which is taking you to an ATR top of around $2.50. But get this, though, if this bar closes, wherever it does, let's just say that it closes around 2:30, right? So if it closes at 2:30 in the next day, 1 day and 20 hours, well, then that's giving you probably another 50 cents. So I'm still sticking to the potential 273 to about 280 in the coming days. I am seeing a pretty nice upside coming in, guys. I do think that Bitcoin is also charging towards the upside here pretty soon. It's just that in the weekends, there's a lot of contraction. Spot price action tends to kind of chill a little bit. Should we come closer to a Sunday, maybe then we're going to start seeing some changes here. I am overall bullish on XRP, overall bullish on BTC, and overall bullish in crypto and the broader markets as well, guys. I think we just signed off for a gigantic bull run here, but wait up, right? Make sure to observe the $127,000 target that I've still been talking about BTC, which means XRP could find some nice little highs here, right? Let's observe. Let's go ahead and see what we can do, guys, because yes, potential threes, beyond threes, maybe even 4, who knows? It's absolutely a possibility here. Okay, guys, well, thank you so much for listening, and we will speak very, very scary Jerry very soon. All right, team. Adios. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Ever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night and or day, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios, team. Oh, yeah.